Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs, and brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. He's back by popular demand. He had to get off the train, and he's going in a different direction. Singer-songwriter from Florida, and he was the founder of 3A Ghost Train, kind of taking a little break at the station, and the group and himself had 50 million streams and nominated for 20 awards, 5 wins, inspired by John 3:08, and carries a very powerful message. And he's going to carry a powerful message as well, too, as he's moving on and featuring some dreams as well, too. And he's gone officially solo, live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, somewhere in the train station, just resting. And he's moving on with his new project, ladies and gentlemen, the former 308 Ghost Train, Anthony Caruso. Anthony, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again. Long time no hear.
Hey, nice to be here again, Mike. I'll tell you, I kind of missed being on your show. I'm usually on at least once a year. I think I might have missed last year for some reason, but it's nice to be back. With all the changes, and we made it through COVID, and we made it through some really rough times. And we're friends on Facebook, so ever since we've been going together, I've kind of follow you, you follow me, and I'll tell you, it's been a run for both of us, hasn't it? It really has.
It certainly has, too. It's just like, I mean, you had what, 50 million streams, 20 awards, 5 wins, and here I
Yeah.
am, and I think I've had about maybe like 8, 10 or something, maybe like top 40, top 50 or something like that. I haven't had that many just like you have, so I consider you the champion right there.
Well, I consider any of us that have won anything in this craziness a winner, because I don't know if anybody realizes this. There's a lot of people out there trying to do what we're doing on both ends of this. There are people out there. I mean, there are millions of songwriters. And some of them never get recognized for anything. There's millions of DJs and podcasters, and some of them just fall into the fabric, and no one really knows who they are. But they try to find a way to make their little hold in life. So I think that anything that you've done is definitely a win, my friend.
And certainly you as well, too, that we went back to the days of with Simple Man, and also with Born in the Wild, and Something's Going On, Next Stop, No Breaks. And of course, we had Bleed Over Me. That's one of my personal favorites. Snake Eyes, Little Misunderstood, one of my favorites. My Love's Lost. And I mean, you've accomplished a lot with a Ghost Train, and going from Ghost Train over to you going solo. And maybe just tell us about the jump of hopping off the Ghost Train and going solo,
Okay,
or
so
simply just give us an update.
yeah, let me just kind of tell you what happened real quick, a synopsis. Well, so back in May, we were on the road, and we were getting beat up on the road really bad. Diesel was $6 a gallon. We were showing up at places, and they were kind of not paying us what we were supposed to get paid, and it seemed like we put ourselves in a real struggle. Well, we came back home at the end of May, and I got to tell you, it was just really, really trying and stressful. And our bass player quit on us. He couldn't do it no more, and he kind of left us hanging. And I guess what happened was that kind of took the band and put it into the train station for a little bit, because we weren't. The rest of us did not want to audition another bass player. I've been through 4 different bass players in 3 years, and a few different guitarists, a couple different drummers, and it just got to be too much. And I got a call one day, from a guy that works for Warner Music, and he said to me, "Why don't you go solo?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "How can I go solo, man? I spent 3 years building this 308 Ghost Train." He says, "Man, stop." He said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You are the 308 Ghost Train. You write the songs. You're the front man. People are focused on you." And I said, "Well, how am I going to rebrand it?" He said, "What are you talking about? You got the most famous name in music. Your name's been famous for 100 years in music. All you got to do is show up and give me some damn good songs, and the rest will do itself." And so I said, "Okay." And then all of a sudden, I had written a couple songs that I was going to do with 308 Ghost Train, and Dreams was one of them. I was going to do a rock version of Dreams. But then I started writing songs, and Simple Man came, and Love You More got re-recorded, and done in a more adult contemporary style. And then Moving On, I wrote, which was fitting because it was about the transition. And then You're My Blues, which is the hit single out of the EP, which is coming out on January 20th. And they say that's the one that's going to blow me through the stratosphere. So basically, that's where we've come from. Now, I released Dreams on September 23rd. And so far, to great reviews and acclaim. I've gotten more love from the tastemakers in this world than I ever did with the 308 Ghost Train. Ever.
And that's something.
It is, and it's all because I believe it's all because of one thing: the bass drum, the kick drums out in the front. Oh, you see my girlfriend walking in the back there.
Oh, hi! Welcome to the Mike Wagner Show. Why don't you just come on in and say hello and tell us who you are?
You just put yourself in a hot seat. Come tell people who you are. You gotta tell them who you are.
Yeah. Come on over. We don't say get off the stage and everything. So
she doesn't. No, she doesn't have any makeup on. She says she's not coming on.
Oh, that's okay. You can just tell who you are.
Well, tell us
and everything.
Tell them who you are.
Hey, everybody. I'm Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Hello. Nice to meet you. Tell us about yourself.
I can't hear him, baby.
She said, tell us about yourself. Oh, she can't hear you, Mike. I'll tell you. She said, tell him about you. She said, want me to tell him who you are?
Yeah, I need to tell him.
Okay, so let me just tell him. Amanda May is the eyes of the 308 Ghost Train. If it wouldn't have been for Amanda May, the world would have never seen us, because she is our director of media operations, our videographer, our photographer. She pretty much is, and the love of my life. You've heard that. That's the story. And I've told you that story before. A lot of songs are written about Amanda in that 308 Ghost Train catalog, and in the new EP, a few of those songs are for Amanda or about Amanda or have something to do with Amanda, and so she's been probably the greatest inspiration I could ever have asked for in life, from somebody that could bring out the artist. I mean, actually, she's made me the artist that I am today, and I would have never been this artist 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because it never happened until the day I started to meet her and we started to fall in love. And so that's Amanda May. She's pretty much my everything. And we continue to partner together. And now that I told you that I'm not only am I a music guy now, but now I'm an actor. I've been called by New York and Hollywood to read for roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've read for several roles in the past couple weeks, and I'm really excited about it because I think I'm a natural at it. I just
you sound like it.
Well, I've been acting all my life. I mean, if the guy, I said, hey, he said to me, he said, you think you could do it? I said, well, hell, I've been acting like a rock star for the last 4 years. I've been pulling that off. He says, you got it. Read for it. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I guess when you go watch On the Rise, if you watch my TV show On the Rise on YouTube, you can watch there's 3 episodes up there. I guess I get a lot of people say to me, wow, man, you like just feel like you're like at home on TV. And I guess I do. I like to entertain, and I like to talk about stories, and I like to emote. I emote while I'm singing, and I also emote while I'm translating or telling stories about the songs, because I feel it's important. So I guess that's kind of given me it's given me some kind of a one up in this whole Hollywood, New York thing. And I've got 30 opportunities or something out there right now. And I just got my first one.
Nice.
So I just got my first hire. I'll be playing the role of Jordan Scott. It's A Man versus Musk, it's called, about the autopilot and the Tesla. It's a monologue. It's like a 15-minute monologue. It's a play written by Jordan Scott and award-winning playwright Charlie Schulman from NYU Tisch School. So it's like it's got some good stuff to it. So I'm looking forward to putting that in the resume also. So that's fun. And the EP is going to be continued to be released on November 25th. We're doing something this year that is kind of a throwback to the old days. We're coming out, we're giving you 2 singles each time we release, just like they did back in the day, the A side and the B side.
I remember those days. I bought the 45s and wonder what's on the B side. And there are times the B side does better than the A side. I look
Well,
forward to what's on the B side. If the B side's great, I'll keep playing. If the B side sucks, it's like just play the A side. If you don't like both,
right.
just give it to somebody else or smash it. So
Right. So you're getting on November 25th, you're going to get the A side is Simple Man, and the B side is Love You More,
oh,
which is
nice.
which is the redone version in an easy listening adult contemporary style.
Okay.
Um, and I've made some minor changes lyrically to that, just a couple, to make it more, that in that genre. But those are the two songs you're getting on November 25th. And then on January 20th is the big day. That's the day that You're My Blues on the A side and Moving On is on the B side. And so then that'll cap the first 5 songs of the album off. And we're really, really looking forward to what's going to happen. We're excited to see what's going to happen with You're My Blues, because the talk is that they're talking song of the year. They're
Oh,
talking,
nice.
yeah, they're talking possible top 5, possible number 1. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little more. I'm optimistic, but I'm a little cautious about that, because I do realize that in the radio world, it isn't always about the best song.
Mm-hmm.
It's about where the money's at that week. Yeah, it's about who's buying what, and a lot of times I don't. I hate that. I always have to tell people, but I gotta kind of keep it 100. It- the people out there need to not get so depressed about seeing people selling millions of records, because they're really not selling millions of records. I want you to know that. If you see a big, sometimes maybe Taylor Swift, yeah, but most places when you see it's the record company investing money into the sales to get it on the charts, and basically they get 70% of that money back, so they're really only making a 30% investment. So when you go to iTunes, they're giving iTunes 30% of the album sale every $3. You know what I mean? But they're getting 7 back. So, and then they're charging the $3 per album back to the artist as a cost. So then really the artist owes money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the artist ain't getting $3 on his deal. He's getting 10 points, which is about 90 cents. So he's actually losing $1. He's actually losing 210 on every album sale. So
Mm-hmm.
the only way he can make that back up is to go on some world tour. And that's why they lock them all in, because that's the only way that they can get out of the hole. It's a vicious circle. Major labels haven't changed much, man. It's
No, they haven't. And you thought Spotify, where they had like you get paid like point zero 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 zero
yeah,
one, like maybe every 100, 200,000 and all that. So it's just like,
yeah. Well,
kind of look again.
Well, everybody has to understand that Sony and Warner Brothers, I think, own 60 or 80% of Spotify. So I think you need to look into who owns these platforms and wonder why your song's getting 1,000 plays, even though you're getting promotion, and somebody else all of a sudden you've never heard of is getting millions of plays. Well, you know what, man? That's a lot of that is rigged. I mean, it just is. It's still payola. Okay. Any way you slice it is still payola. But what the crime in this is, and I'm trying to go on a crusade about this down the line, is that in the United States we have a law. It's a statutory rate that's been enacted by Congress and put into law, that every song that gets played receives 10 cents. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a crusade to bring a class action lawsuit against all of them, because the dirty bastards have ripped us off for long enough, and because they should be paying. Just in the United States, please. I don't care about Germany. I don't care about Japan. I don't care about Thailand or none of those crazy places. I just care about the songs that are listened to in the United States. I want my 10 cents for every song that's played, because I own the publishing, so I get it all. I want my 10 cents for every, and I had 9 million streams in the United States. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's $900,000. I'd like to have my money. All right. So like I think there's a lawsuit in that down the line, a class action lawsuit, where I'm gonna put out like a change.org, like a petition, and see how many people come. I bet you I'm gonna get hundreds of thousands of artists to sign on with me. Then I'm gonna take it to like Pryor and Cashman or one of the big law firms and say, look, and I'm hopefully I'll have the money then, and I'll front it. I'll front it as one of the main claimants, because I had 50 million streams, man, and SoundCloud did not pay me for them. They owe
Oh
me
my gosh.
They owe me $170,000. I'm still fighting with them.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous with what's happened. So even when you're successful, well, here's the deal. They're over in Belgium or something. That's where their headquarters is. So they know I can't come over there and fight them. I can't go fight them in the world court. Even if I took them to court in the United States, I can't afford that as an independent artist. And it would cost a lot more than $170,000 to even begin any kind of lawsuit like that. So it's they know this. They know this, and so this is why they refused. We'll just ignore him until we have to not ignore him. Well, they've had several lawsuits in the past few years and have been sued for millions of dollars by bigger artists. So my hope is that when I come up, that I'm able to go back and undo the wrong, because
Hmm.
not just for me, Mike, for everybody else out there that should be able to at least eat off of the music that they make. I mean, come on. I got to check. I was just saying today, the last 308 Ghost Train release, Paper Ships, back in May 13th. I just got a check for $12.88 for the stream.
Really? Oh my gosh. That's like buying like a couple of McDonald's what was it like what was like those number ones or number twos or something, maybe a few Happy Meals for your kids. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, all those streams, man. I got $12.88, man. I
Oh
mean, look,
man.
it's a real game. The money right now is in touring. The money's in two places. The money's in sync and film. That's where the real money is. Okay, TV, film, commercials. Your song gets in one of those, you're making a great payday.
Hmm.
Tour only if you're attached to the right agency, and only if you're attached to the right tour. Or other than that, it can be a nightmare. Touring is you have to be in the right company to do that. That's why I'm opting this year to go for listening rooms. I'm going to do a 2023 tour in listening rooms, and I'm going to play the stripped down versions of all the new songs and some of the 308 Ghost Train ballads, put them together in a show, and go out there and play to 50, 75 people. It's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to get your money. You do it like that, and you can make some good money. I mean, at $20 a ticket, man, that's a $1,500 night. I mean, I'm okay with that. Listen, I ain't trying. I'm not greedy. $1,000, $1,500 a night. Because you got to remember, I got to drive, I got to travel. Okay, I got to bring one of my guys with me. We got to stay overnight. We got to eat. So it costs money to do that, but I can live in that range. You know what I mean? That's a pretty good job based on what we've accomplished. As far as 20 award nominees. Matter of fact, it's 22 now.
22, yes.
It's 22. It's 22 with 6 wins, and there's one still out right now, and I'm up for like 3 or 4 more this year still. So, with those kind of numbers, I don't know if you know, but a 25% win rate in this business is huge. It's huge. If you win 25% of everything that you get nominated for, which that's what we're at right now, that's like a calling a light bulb or something goes off in somebody's head and says, "Yo, sign them now."
Right, light bulbs. That's right. Green doors,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, green lights.
But the problem with us is age. Major labels are only concerned with very young people, TikTokers, and the young people. Matter of fact, they're signing people off of TikTok now. This is got to be one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard. But people aren't even that talented. But but here's the deal: people don't know this. It's actually a win for the thing, because they're only giving them 30 grand. They're signing them to these contracts. They're giving them 30 grand. That's enough money for you to live for a year, they say, while you do your work for us. Okay, so if they throw it up against the wall and it don't stick, it doesn't. But guess what? When that person's got 52 million TikTok views and stuff like that, well, the record company's taking their share back, okay? And the deal they made with them, they're giving them a piece of that, okay, to keep them happy, keep them floating.
Mm-hmm.
But sooner or later, that's all gonna go out the window, and it's like a fad. They're not gonna last. They can't.
Oh,
You know, the music doesn't have the kind of hold. It's very what you call like situational, or it's kind of like, you know,
it
the
just
season.
it doesn't have a timeless effect. And of course, I have to admit one thing. I don't remember what I watched on TikTok maybe 15 minutes ago, or even half hour ago, or 2 minutes ago. It's like I have no recollection on that.
Right.
Instagram, same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Twitter, you know,
It's all
somewhat same
instant
thing.
it's all instant gratification. That's what's going on, is instant gratification. So, okay, I mean, if you wanna jerk your ego off, I guess, go ahead. I mean, take the money, take your 30,000, but I bet you're probably losing a lot more in the
Mhm.
end. And you know what? Some people don't care because it's their 15 minutes. Well, this is the new 15 minutes. TikTok is the new 15 minutes. The new 15 minutes is 30 seconds, 60
Mhm.
seconds.
Right.
60 seconds is your new 15 minutes of fame.
Hmm.
So
And, and
they've even cut that down.
Mhm. And there's a lot of it too, as well, too. And here's a suggestion for you. It's like the next time we put out, we'll talk about the issues that we covered. How's that? I think we
Yeah.
got some good ideas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, so this whole journey's been magical. I mean, yeah, I was talking. My mother called me today, and she's got problems with the other, you know, people, like her grandchildren. This one's got this thing. This one's got that thing. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting there, and she says, "Well, but you don't have any problems anymore." And I said, "No." I said, "Because I do have problems, but what I'm doing on the other end is so positive, it overshadows anything that's negative. Like anything that's even happening to me that's kind of not, good or whatever. But the things that are happening to me are so good that my universe is balanced. So
Hmm.
I'm balanced, So I mean, that's what I wish for everyone, that could find that center, and just be happy in the moment. It's the first time in my life, Mike, I can actually say I'm happy on my personal and professional front at the same time.
Hmm.
And that's a long time. It took me a long time. I'm like a 30-year overnight success. I mean, I've been through the trenches and back to hell and back, and you know raised from the fires of hell and the whole 9 yards. And I think there's something to be said about just hanging in there and doing what you love to do. Sooner or later, people recognize that it's who you are, not what you do.
Hmm. And that's very important as well, too. And a bit more about moving on. And what else is Anthony moving on? We'll find out just 1 minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. It's powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes, Riley, and Males. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Check out the Mike Wagner Show at HamiltonRadio.net every Thursday night, 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central. Also, check our merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com. T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more, as well as hoodies. Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also, cool merchandise and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check out Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, and support us on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here with a terrific singer-songwriter from Florida, founder of 308 Ghost Train, and he's taking a rest on the Mike Wagner Show. Anthony Caruso, it's always great to have him on, and always great to chat to and everything else, and maybe a bit about dreams. Tell us more about that. And you also got Nebraska as well, too, and Nobody Can Hurt Me as well, and some other ones.
Yeah, and that album is always evolving. The song Nebraska hasn't been recorded yet, but Amanda's from Nebraska, so I felt like I needed to write one about Nebraska. And Nobody Can Hurt You is a song that my buddy Johnny Zitch wrote, and I went and took and rewrote the lyrics to it, and it's kind of like a club dance tune. Now that one's recorded, so that's coming. And then Dark Days, a young lady named Eri Christie, who you can find on Facebook, Eri Christie. She wrote a song called Dark Days, and I never listened to music on Facebook ever when I was scrolling. I never do because I don't want to be unduly influenced. Something told me to push the button, and of course I did. The wind blows where it pleases, brother. And when I pushed it, I heard something in that song, and I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Oh, I need to do that." So come to find out, she lived in Alabama, but her parents lived in Sarasota, Florida, right down the
Wow.
street. And we were, when she was coming home that next week, I said, "Well, let's meet at the Dunkin' Don or what was it, the IHOP Perkins, the Perkins restaurant." And we had some coffee, and she came in, and me and her and Amanda sat down, and I told her how it like moved me, and I said I want to cut it for the 308 Ghost Train, and she said sure. Well, then all the stuff happened with the 308 Ghost Train, and she writes me. She says, "Anthony, are you still going to be doing Dark Days?" And I said, well, "Absolutely." I said, "I'm just going to be doing it now as a solo artist." So that's being recorded next. The next two songs are I'm redoing. I'm never getting over you, which is
Okay.
the 308 Ghost Train song from I believe the Something's Going On album, EP. And there was just something about that song. They never let us play the ballads when we were live, when we were out in the, because no, they want the energy music. And people were coming to me and saying, "Yo, man, we want to hear those songs. Like, people want to hear those songs." And I'm like, okay, so that's why I decided to incorporate those ballads into the Caruso project, but I have to redo them because they all need to be in the same vein. So they all need to have that adult contemporary. So I'm working with a couple different producers, Johnny Zitch and Uri Schlesinger, and those guys are they're taking songs and they're putting tracks to them and then giving them to me, and then I'm bringing in Angel Soto from the 308 Ghost Train to put down the leads, and then I'm adding the different textures and vocals, of course, and backgrounds, and we're coming up with a whole new sound.
Nice.
It's a new sound. Dreams is a really magical song. The story, Mike. I write a lot of songs in my dreams, and now I've learned how to tap into my alpha space while I'm consciously awake. Like, I could be driving down the interstate and like I'm watching where I'm going. All of a sudden my mind goes into this like alpha place space or whatever. And melodies will start running around in my head. And that's how I wrote Little Miss Misunderstood. It's how I wrote Dreams. It's how I wrote a lot of the newer stuff, that's been coming out. So now I've tapped into this power of the alpha space. So not only do I hear stuff in my sleep, but I also hear it when I'm awake. It'll just come to me. So, Dreams is a magical song that I wanted to tell a story about the accumulation of the last, several years. In 2015, I died on a table having heart surgery, and they brought me back to life. And of course, that's the beginning of the 308 Ghost Train. When a year later, I was contemplating, life and death because I couldn't get out of my own head. And I looked up at this tree I meditate on. I was thinking about just ending it and saying it ain't worth it. But I went home that night and went to sleep. And I woke up and wrote a song called Warn. At 5:30 in the morning, the song Warn came into my head. I jumped out of bed. I went into my little corner. And in 15 minutes, I had written the whole song. And that was the first song I'd ever written for the 308 Ghost Train. 25 or 6 songs later, I ain't looked back.
That is amazing. Wow. Look at the journey you've been on, because of 308 and 256. I'm about to remember these numbers next time I have you on it. So that's 256.
Crazy, man. It's craziness, man. It's just craziness. It just goes to show all of us have are interweaved, and we all have a part of each other's journey when we come together. Like, I'm a part of your journey by being on your show. You're part of my journey by interviewing me. We're all intertwined, and all of us get to be a part of the history of each other's legacy. So someday, if I was to somebody was to say, "Hey, man, that's an amazing dude, man. Like, we need to do a story on that." Well, everybody along the way is a part of how that story became to the point where it got noticed by someone who said, "Oh, man, we need to tell this story." So, and the same thing with you, the same thing anybody. We need to tell that story. Well, it's just amazing, man, how we're all like intertwined into it. It's all energy, Mike. The universe is energy. It's all energy. God is energy. It's all energy, man. It's all good energy, and the good goes one way, and the bad goes another. And the neutral just goes, kind of there. So
It's just there, the neutral zone, pretty much. What was it, like no man's land or something like that?
yeah, there's
I
a
was.
no man's land there. Sometimes you got to step in there and take a break. Sometimes you got to step in because that's like the eye of the storm. That's where the center is. And sometimes when you step in the center, everything's calm. Everything's like, but on the each side of it, man, there's nothing but chaos and fight and push and pull and drag and you name it. But when you stay in the center, sometimes you can avoid a lot of that, and your journey gets easier to move forward a little bit. So sometimes you got to get in the center, when you get to a certain point, and don't fight it so much. And that's where I think I am right now, because everything's like really, really kind of happening for me. I'm just kind of now, I'm just kind of like showing up and doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm helping God to help me, you know?
Mhm. And certainly amazing as well too. You're doing a great job of it. It's always great to have you on. Once again, where can we find your latest and all your works at?
Well, you can find me on Spotify under Caruso. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, TikTok under Caruso the artist. That's the moniker. I took that so I could differentiate myself from anyone else that calls himself Caruso, which, believe it or not, there are a lot.
Oh
But
yeah, just like
but when
that
you
island rescue, whatever it is, or like
yeah, so you
Robinson
just
Crusoe. Yes.
yeah, you just put Caruso the artist in it, and I come up Spotify and everything else, and I'm in iTunes. I'm everywhere you can find music. I'm on every platform. Of course, I'm distributed by Warner Music Group, so I'm in everything that's available. And yeah, I want to thank Warner Music Group for distributing me, because it's a wonderful thing to have the arm of a major label with you. But at the same time, you're kind of partnering with them, and I own all my publishing, and I own my part of it. So it's like Resting Dove Records, which we own Resting Dove Records, and then slash WMG. But what it does is it gives me the opportunity to use the Warner Music Group logos to come out in front and have it on my signs and banners. And Warner Music Group, RDR Warner Music Group presents. Everything I do, I'm able to use the long arm of Warner Music Group, and I hope to partner a little bit further with them down the line. But of course, I've got some things to prove.
Hmm.
Even I still have to prove some things, and so let's see what happens in the future. And I thank you so much for having me on.
And speaking of the future, by the way, what's next in 2023 for you?
Well, I'm going to be. I don't know. Only if Amanda May lets me. I
Amanda, get over here. Tell them what to
yeah,
do.
only if Amanda May lets me, but I might be going on a listening room tour, and I believe there's 250 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot, Mike. I couldn't believe. Angie's put that list together for me. She's got me out there, so it's going to start in the south, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. And
Wow.
that's the
Hopes.
and where
You hope.
I hope, she said, I
I
hope.
hope.
Yeah, I got to tell you something, Mike. I went on the road, and Amanda couldn't go with me, and I got to tell you, I don't know, I was kind of felt lost. I don't know. I felt kind of lost the whole time, and it was kind of stressful. So I don't know. It's not. It's just, it's a thing, man. It's about it's about wanting to be in your zone, in your comfort zone. You're safe. I want to get out there and play for people, but we'll see what happens.
And we certainly will too. We're with Anthony Caruso, formerly the Through Eight Ghost Train, going solo on the Mike Wagner Show, and of course a very big thank you for your time as always, and looking forward to having you on soon. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check you guys out?
You can find me on Spotify and iTunes. That's the two best places. iTunes if you can, because they pay the best. iTunes actually pays the best. So go to iTunes, go to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, put in Caruso the artist, follow me, see where, let's get on the journey with me together, and let's see where we can take this.
We certainly would do so. Once again, Anthony, a very big thank you for your time. You're always amazing, and looking forward to you soon. Just keep us up to date, keep in touch, and definitely have a white love you back. We wish you all the best, and yes, a great future ahead as well.
Thank you, Mike, and have a great holiday.